Taylor Swift's shock involvement in Blake Lively's highly publicized legal roller coaster with Justin Baldoni rocked the foundations of their decade-long friendship, and the A-list pals are still struggling to move on from the fallout, with Bad Blood singer no longer communicating with Lively.
Here's a new blind item that is allegedly about Blake Lively and how she is using all of her friends' names to remind people that they should like her, and how this could allegedly get her kicked out of her friend group, especially with Taylor Swift.
So it looks like Taylor Swift has officially cut all ties with Blake Lively, and Selena Gomez might know the real reason why. Apparently, while they were having dinner to celebrate Taylor getting her master's back, Taylor finally confided in Selena why she decided to ghost Blake completely. First, Taylor couldn't believe Blake would weaponize their friendship so much, using her to pressure Justin Baldoni and other co-stars. Also, Blake allegedly threatened to release Taylor's embarrassing texts and private moments to get her to side with her in her lawsuit against Justin. On top of that, Blake allegedly tried to get Taylor's boyfriends to break up with her by telling them embarrassing things about Taylor or straight up lying to them. Of course, Selena was fully on board with Taylor cutting Blake off because, for those who don't know, Selena has always disliked Blake. But the real question is, what kind of friend would do all the things Blake reportedly did to Taylor? Or is the media just trying to paint Blake as a villain again? Also, what does Selena have to say about all this? Let's get into it. So, Taylor Swift and Blake Lively have been making the news rounds after falling out over the "It Ends With Us" drama. And it has gotten so bad that Taylor literally regrets ever meeting Blake. A source told the Daily Mail, right now, if Taylor had one wish, it would be that she never met Blake. Although there have been good times during their friendship, the issues now concerning the Baldoni case have outweighed them. When Taylor looks back at their friendship, she realizes it wasn't worth all the stress Blake put her through. She can now see all the red flags that should have been a warning to her. The source further alleged, Taylor's relieved the relationship is over. She put up with Blake's antics for too long because she's a loyal friend. It took the "It Ends With Us" drama to finally get her to pull the trigger on it. Fans really noticed how bad things had gotten between them when Taylor was spotted in New York with all her besties celebrating getting her master's back, and Blake was nowhere to be found. Blake is supposed to be Taylor's bestest friend in the whole wide world, so fans were shocked that she didn't make it to the guest list while Taylor was spotted with all her other besties. She even stepped out in florals for her dinner with Dakota Johnson, who, interestingly, also used to be close friends with Blake Lively but recently unfollowed her on Instagram. On top of that, a lot of people felt like Taylor's dress was an obvious shade at Blake because Blake had a floral campaign during the press run for "It Ends With Us." She probably had over 20 floral moments, from interviews to red carpets and photo shoots. But the ultimate shade came when Taylor was spotted with Blake's #1 hater, Selena Gomez. Selena and Taylor have been very close for decades, but she never saw eye to eye with Blake in all those years. According to reports, Selena always saw right through Blake's act. She could tell that there was something off about Blake. Something almost nasty in the way Blake's aggressive friendship with Taylor. A few weeks ago, the Daily Mail reported that Selena had warned Taylor about Blake years ago, and at the time, it seemed like Selena was a hater. But she finally felt vindicated when Blake dragged Taylor into her messy legal battle with Justin Baldoni. Selena was never comfortable with the way Blake latched on to Taylor. She found it super odd that even before they got really close, Blake was already calling Taylor her bestie, making Taylor the godmother to her kids. But when Blake violated Taylor's privacy by dragging her into a lawsuit that had nothing to do with her, Selena finally realized that her fears were valid all along. However, it would turn out that Selena didn't know just how many red flags Taylor had ignored over the years to make her friendship with Blake work. Blake kept doing things to Taylor that would have been super weird to do to even your regular friend, much less someone you call a bestie. However, Taylor is a super loyal friend, so she makes excuses for Blake even when everyone else around her sees that Blake is using her. But the final straw was when Blake subpoenaed Taylor for her case against Justin. See, Taylor was hurt when the blog started dragging her name through the mud because she felt Blake had crossed the line. It was bad enough that Blake used her name to threaten Justin Baldoni. Taylor allegedly felt betrayed, used, and violated when she heard that Blake was throwing her name around as one of her dragons. An insider revealed to the Daily Mail that Taylor was insulted by Blake's Khaleesi and dragon texts, and it was the last straw for Taylor's friendship with Blake. They said, for the time being, she is taking a step back from Blake because she doesn't want to get tangled in this more than she already has, which is far more than she ever needed to be. Her friends also think that Blake's "I'm Khaleesi," and like her, "I happen to have dragons" text to Justin was uncool and unnecessary because she was essentially used as an intimidation tactic. She was referred to as some kind of pet or possession, but it only got worse from there as Taylor got hit with a subpoena by Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman. Interestingly, it was later revealed that there was no real reason for Taylor to be subpoenaed in relation to the Justin Baldoni case. Taylor had never been on set or worked directly on the production of the film. The only thing she had to do with it was license the use of her song My Tears Ricochet for It Ends With Us. Mind you, Taylor wasn't the only artist who licensed their song for this movie. There were 19 others. So why did only Taylor get subpoenaed over something as little as that? According to a spokesperson for Taylor, it was purely for clout. Given that her involvement was licensing a song for the film, which 19 other artists also did, this document subpoena is designed to use Taylor Swift's name to draw public interest by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case. Even if Taylor wasn't mad at getting dragged into Blake's drama before this, the fact that it exposed her to all sorts of backhanded tactics and clickbait news articles would have sent her over the edge. You would have to be a saint not to blame your supposed bestie, when every 2 business days, there's a new headline tying you to a case that has nothing to do with you. I mean, Taylor got her master's back, and all anyone can talk about is how this will affect Blake's case. But, believe it or not, things only got worse from here, because rumors are now floating around that Taylor cut Blake off because Blake threatened to expose her intimate and embarrassing texts if she didn't side with her in the Justin Baldoni legal saga. After Taylor's camp revealed that Brian Friedman subpoenaed her for clout, Friedman fired back, claiming that there was actually a valid reason why Taylor was subpoenaed. The court documents claimed that Blake tried to pressure Taylor into issuing a public statement in support of her and urged her to delete text messages between them during her escalating legal battle with Justin. Oh, but it gets worse. Brian Friedman revealed that the subpoena was to obtain information relating to witness tampering and evidence spoliation, specifically that Lively had attempted to coerce Swift into publicly siding with her. The court document added that Justin Baldoni's lawyers received information that Ms. Lively requested that Taylor Swift delete their text messages, which, according to inside sources, may have contained details from over a decade of friendship, relationships, and private confidences. The court document also claimed that Blake's lawyer, Michael Gottlieb, had contacted Taylor's attorney and demanded that Taylor release a statement of support for Blake, intimating that if Taylor refused to do so, private text messages of a personal nature in Blake's possession would be released. Threatening to release embarrassing texts between you and your bestie if she doesn't support you in your messy drama with someone else is low, even for Blake Lively. Suddenly, the fact that Taylor never said anything about Blake's lawsuit started to make more sense. But that's not all. According to the court documents, Taylor's lawyers purportedly addressed Blake's inappropriate and apparently extortionate threats in at least one written communication sent to Gottlieb. It is those communications that Baldoni's team seeks to obtain by way of subpoena, as they would evidence an attempt to intimidate and coerce a percipient witness in this litigation. Fans thought it was super wild that Blake allegedly switched up on Taylor like that. The whole drama might not have been that big of a deal if it hadn't blown up in Blake's face so spectacularly. Even the subpoena could still be excused in a way. At the end of the day, it wasn't Blake's team that subpoenaed Taylor, and there's no way Blake could have predicted what Justin Baldoni's team would do. But sending threats to Taylor? That takes the messiness to a whole new level. Unfortunately, Blake's shady moves didn't end there either. Get this. It was recently revealed that she also subpoenaed Scooter Braun, who is famously known as Taylor Swift's mortal enemy. As you guys probably remember, Scooter Braun and Taylor Swift have had beef for years, so fans were giving Blake the side eye when it was revealed that she was subpoenaing Scooter, who didn't really have anything to do with the case. For context, Taylor and Scooter's beef started in 2019 when Scooter bought Big Machine Records from founder Scott Borchetta, which gave Scooter control over Taylor's first 6 albums. After the sale, Scooter's friend David Grutman shared a headline article about the sale with the caption, "When your friend buys Taylor Swift." Scooter reshared the post, but when he started facing backlash from the Swifties, he quickly deleted it. Taylor was heartbroken when she heard the news because she had been begging Scott Borchetta for years to let her own her music, but he had refused. She was also devastated that of all people, her masters had to go to Scooter Braun, a guy who had bullied her for years on the internet. This forced her to start re-recording her earlier albums to regain control over her music and legacy. Shortly after Scooter bought her masters, she started trying to negotiate with him to buy them back. But according to her, Scooter wanted her to sign an ironclad NDA stating that she would only speak positively about him before she was even allowed to start the negotiations. In 2020, Scooter sold Taylor's masters to another company, and Taylor would go on to throw shade at him in her Midnight album. Fast forward to May 2025, and she finally bought back all her masters. Now, bringing this back to Blake Lively, it seems suspicious that Blake's lawyer subpoenaed Scooter Braun and his company Hybe in a case that had nothing to do with him. According to court documents, the subpoena was issued to dig up any documents and information that Hybe has on the work that Crisis PR boss Melissa Nathan did for the It Ends With Us director. For context, Melissa Nathan is listed as a co-defendant in Blake's case against Justin. However, rumors have been circulating that the real reason why Blake subpoenaed Scooter was so she could get dirt on Taylor and embarrass her publicly after Taylor called her bluff. Some even suggested that Blake wanted insider information to sabotage Taylor's attempt to get her masters back. Taylor clearly got the message that Blake was bad news because, according to reports, she has decided to cut Blake off completely. When this drama first started, there was still a good chance that Taylor would rekindle her friendship with Blake when things settled down. But with all the things that have come to light after that, it looks like Taylor is not even entertaining that idea anymore. A source told Page 6, Taylor has not been in touch with Blake and still does not want to discuss anything to do with the lawsuit. But what are your thoughts on Blake's alleged betrayal of Taylor? And do you think this is enough for Taylor to ghost Blake? Share your thoughts down below and then check out this next video.